When it comes to change, it's not uncommon for me to hear a senior executive or CEO, especially when they've been struggling to enable change in their organization. And I ask them what impact this change has on them. And they say something like, well, none. It really has nothing to do with me. It's about the employees and it affects my employees. And statements like that tell me that the leader hasn't yet recognized the important role and impact their actions, their inactions, and their behaviors have on the outcome of their changes in their organization. Hi, I'm Dr. Dawn Reed Turner, President of Turner Change Management and creator of the Readiness Mindset. As a leading expert in organizational change, I work alongside leaders to help them successfully navigate the complexities of change using practical, science-based methods that make their organizations healthier, stronger, with employees who are able to embrace and accept change. Today's video is the second in an 8-part series that explores the attributes that executive leaders need to demonstrate in order to successfully create a change-ready organization. If you missed the first video on self-awareness, you'll find the link to it in the show notes below. In this video, I want to talk about behavioral integrity. We often refer to it as walk the talk. That's the second attribute that will help you enable the conditions where change is expected. And that's the piece that is missing when I hear leaders say, it has nothing to do with me, it's about and affects the employees. The recognition of the impact of behavioral integrity is an important attribute to enable change to be accepted and seen as part of the normal evolution of your organization. Your credibility as a leader is built on behavioral integrity. That is, that your actions match your words. And every change, regardless of where it is occurring in the organization and what level of the organization has to do the most heavy lifting, is about you and every other leader in your organization. The successful change leader knows the behaviors and activities required to achieve the intended results and then thinks about and begins to model those expected behaviors. Research has shown that leadership behavior can reduce employee cynicism to organizational change. One of the most powerful demonstrations of behavioral integrity that I've seen came from a young manager in a financial services company. We were discussing actions to develop her leaders through the organization and move through a series of changes that they were implementing. And she, along with the other managers, talked about how they regularly take on an employee's role so the employee has an opportunity to act as supervisor. This was not a company policy. It just simply reflected the managers within the organization's desire to stay familiar with what it really took to get the job done and work as a frontline employee, but also, and more importantly, to begin to develop new leaders within the organization. And although this in itself was a unique demonstration of behavioral integrity, it was one manager in particular and her story that for me represented the gold standard of what it meant to walk the walk. On this occasion, one of the employees was scheduled to act as supervisor for the day, but another employee had called in sick. So the easy thing for that manager to do would have been to tell the employee that due to the illness, she would not be able to act as supervisor that day. They would find another time for her to do it, and she had to fill in for the sick employee. But that's not what this manager did. Instead, the manager filled in for the absent employee. And I was really surprised when she shared this with me. And I asked why she made that decision. And she said, well, first of all, it gave her a chance to work on the floor and stay in touch with the work. And as if it should have been obvious to me, she then added, why? Why would I rob my employee of the chance to take a leadership role? Her response to that situation demonstrated not only her words in developing leaders within the organization, but matched her actions to those words. It's easy to get misaligned between our words and our actions. And so here are 3 questions that you can ask to check in during change and ensure that you're demonstrating the kind of behavioral integrity, the walk the talk, that's going to be needed to enable change in your organization. The first question to ask is, what behaviors and activities will my employees be required to adopt to ensure we achieve our intended outcome? You need to know what those behaviors, those activities are. That's why I strongly advocate with our clients that they create an intended outcome story. And I've talked about that in a previous video, and we'll do some more work on creating story and particularly your outcome story in another video. You can't know what behaviors and activities those employees are expected to engage in unless you've done that work to define the outcome story. The second question comes once you've identified those behaviors and activities. And then you need to ask yourself, how can I model, demonstrate, and support those new activities and behaviors until they are firmly embedded in our operational environment? How can I demonstrate my commitment through my actions to support this change? The third question to ask is, are my current actions aligned with the new and expected behaviors of that intended outcome for that particular change? For example, am I expecting them to communicate and work as a team and yet withholding information or maintaining an environment that reinforces silos and individual performance? These 3 questions can help you check in and ensure that you're walking the talk. The manager I talked about earlier was walking the talk. She also demonstrated that it wasn't always easy or convenient, but it had a big impact on their organization. This organization was one of the organizations that we had assessed to be change ready. And her example of behavioral integrity was just one of the reasons that they were a change ready organization. And because she followed through and her words matched her actions, she was also building high levels of trust and influencing the overall culture of the organization through her actions, which were much more powerful than her words would have been. I'm curious, what's your experience with walking the talk? Let me know in the comments section below. That's it for now. I'll talk to you soon.